second game, the sandwich game of our triple header tonight. And in the middle is this battle between Windsor's Two Straws and St. Elmo Brownstown. I couldn't help it. Bob Lockhart, Greg Fiesel. I walked down. The first thing I asked him, I said, "Is this your first game?" They both enjoyed that. These are two of the veteran coaches in the area. Greg, obviously the dean of coaches in the National Trail Conference, and Bob Lockhart's coached since the 70s. So imagine that. Still going strong, still loves it. And so I think this is going to be a fun game tonight.
Yeah, Bob's not he's not unfamiliar with this NTC tournament setting either, as he was the coach at Neoga for a few years, and so now he moves over to the Hatchets and takes over the reins there, and they've got a 13-8 season going, so they've got a pretty good campaign. And obviously St. Elmo Brownstown coming in here at 11-10, a couple of winning records. We talked about it. Good records up and down the pairings in this tournament. The seedings had to have been pretty tough outside of maybe number one with St. Anthony. 8 of the 9 teams are in double figures in wins. That's saying something. And as such, a team as good as Brownstown St. Elmo Brownstown ends up with the 8th seed in the tournament. They had 10 wins coming in. They got the 8th seed. That's pretty tough, but that's a measure of how even this week is as far as these teams, and also the level of quality of play among the majority of these teams. So it could be a lot of fun. And as you said, 13 wins already this year for the Hatchets. So who knows? We could have a really classy ball game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it has the potential to be a good matchup, and that's kind of how I have felt about most of the games of this tournament so far. Either team, by the way, both of the teams, I should say, are dealing without somebody because Mr. Burton is unavailable for the Hatchets. He got hurt in their game Tuesday here. And then Rocky Himes, who actually came in and played some last night, has now been ruled unavailable by the trainer. And Coach Fiesel says he wants to play, but I'm not going to go against the trainer's decision, so he's not going to play. So both teams down a man. Yeah, sometimes you have to take the common sense of the training staff over that of the high school player who wants to, senior at that, who wants to play in this NTC tournament. So with that said, Dustin has a look at the starting lineups for this one. All right, Greg, for Windsor's Two Straws, they're going to be the visiting team tonight. And as you mentioned, Adam Burton is not available, so they're going to go with this starting 5. Jackson Miller, a senior wearing number 13, is going to get the start along with Bo Bennett, another senior in this Hatchets lineup. Gavin Warnsing, he's going to get a start, and he is a freshman out there for this Hatchets team. He's going to be starting alongside Wyatt Smith, wearing number 24, and Logan Gruel is going to get a start. He is wearing number 11, and he's a senior, in my understanding, and he's your guy that's getting the start in place of the injured Burton. As far as St. Elmo Brownstown goes, they're going to roll with Brighton Pruitt. He's a 5'10 junior wearing number 4 tonight. Jason McWhorter, a 6'2 sophomore wearing number 15, also gets the start. Andy Goldsboro, a 6'1 junior wearing number 23, is going to get the start along with Nate Philpott. He's a 6-foot senior wearing number 24. And rounding out that starting lineup for your Eagles from St. Elmo Brownstown is Jacob Barron. He is a 6'5 junior, and he's going to wear number 50 tonight. And as I mentioned, Rocky Himes, who you're used to hearing about if you're watching or listening to St. Elmo Brownstown basketball, he will not be on the floor tonight for Greg Fiesel's club. I want to double-check the Hatchets. I talked to Bob. I want to double-check to make sure I didn't give you bad information. I think we're good, though, on those 5 starters. Yeah, they get, looks like the 5 I had. So we'll see what happens. Bo Bennett played really well Tuesday night. Jackson Miller had a good ball game for the Hatchets. A lot of people played well. That's a very competitive ball game for the majority of the contest. Yeah, it looks like you had Jackson Miller scoring a dozen points in their opener, leading the way. So he's a guy to keep an eye on if you're watching this game, but also if you're the defense for St. Elmo Brownstown looking to get a win and advance in this consolation bracket. Absolutely. And then don't forget, we've got championship bracket action between North Clay and St. Anthony yet to come after this one. This is the triple header night, 2 tomorrow night, and then remember we've got four games on Saturday, 11:30, 1 o'clock, 2:30, and then the championship game Saturday night at 7:30. Pretty good crowd on hand. Lots green, lots blue.
representing Stu Straws and Windsor. And then lots of light blue and white over here representing SEB.
Chair seats filling up a little bit along courtside. Before the game, I was chatting with a gentleman who came all the way from, he comes up from Edwardsville, comes over from Edwardsville, I should say, to watch this tournament. He was telling me he was a little concerned that we might get some snow tomorrow, and he doesn't necessarily want to make the trip, but otherwise he comes all the way over here to watch, and so that's a fun thing. So some people, they don't even bother with the video stream, although we encourage you to do so. Very interesting to see that this tournament draws the crowd from all over the place.
Nothing like being here. There's no denying that. Boy, we've had a lot of response from an awful lot of people that are watching, and thanks to everybody who's let us know, because we've had people all across the country that are watching. Well, looks like we're ready for action.
We are indeed. Bo Bennett in the circle along with for St. Elmo Brownstown. I'm looking, and Jacob Barron is going to sit up, and he is going to win that tip. St. Elmo Brownstown controls. Nate Philpott going to bring it up the floor. Opening possession of the second game tonight at the NTC tournament. The Eagles have the basketball going up against the man defense from Windsor Stu Straws to start working it around the perimeter. Nate Philpott bounces the pass in. Shot put up from Andy Goldsboro. That one's high off the rim, off the top of the backboard. Goldsboro follows his own miss and comes away with it. Kicks out for a three-pointer from Philpott, and it's good.
Nate Philpott missed a lot of the early part of the season. He was injured in two different areas. He's all healed and back, and he's helping these Eagles out a lot.
Philpott's got the Eagles out to a 3-0 lead. Windsor Stu Straws opening possession, working it around. Skip pass, a fake shot, and now kicked away toward midcourt. They keep it from going over. Bo Bennett kicks it over in the corner. Now a skip pass, and they're going to bounce it over to the sideline. Now back to the top of the key. That's Wyatt Smith. He puts up a contested jumper, and a couple of different Eagles in the neighborhood. Somebody fouled him.
Yeah, I think I know. I think it's Jace McWhorter. Yep. Jace McWhorter picks up the first foul of the game.
Windsor Stu Straws uniforms, green numbers on blue jerseys, so
little tough at times.
First free throw for Wyatt Smith is up and good, so he's the first hatchet on the board. He's got another one coming. Wyatt crouches, the right-hander puts it up, and this one is rattling around and no good. Rebound comes down to Jace McWhorter for St. Elmo Brownstown, and Philpott going to bring the ball up the floor. Works it over to Jace McWhorter. McWhorter dribbles into the lane, kicks it down into Jacob Barron, and his layup is good. So Barron, 2 points, and the St. Elmo Brownstown Eagles out to a 5-1 lead.
Had himself in position to make the good shot, the catch, the one step, and the layup.
Jackson Miller over on the left wing surveying the defense. Wyatt Smith in the corner, back out to the top of the key. That's Gruel who tries to pass it down in. That ball is stolen. Jace McWhorter had the steal, brings it down the floor, tries to put a layup up in traffic. His shot is no good, and the rebound comes down to Gruel for Windsor Stu Straws, pushing it back up the other way. Skip pass is stolen. That's Philpott with the steal. And he gets into traffic and puts up a turnaround jumper in the lane. That one's up and good. Philpott has 5, and we have a timeout for Windsor Stu Straws. Stu Straws taking the timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds. It is 7-1 St. Elmo Brownstown boys basketball action at the National Trail Conference Tournament on 97.9 XFM.
Leisure Times at Keller and Jefferson at Effingham has everything you'll need for your indoor and outdoor recreational needs. Leisure Times, where we specialize in family fun. Crossroads Bank, your locally owned, locally managed, and locally committed bank, has 2 locations to serve you, on South Banker and on North Keller Drive.
Your home for the 84th Annual NTC Tournament, 97.9 XFM.
Windsor Stu Straws coach Bob Lockhart getting the quick timeout as he sees his team fall behind quickly, 7-1 to St. Elmo Brownstown. Hatchets inbound the ball on the far end of the court and bring it down. That's Jackson Miller bringing it up against the St. Elmo Brownstown defense. So far, just a single tally for Wyatt Smith for the Hatchets, and that's it for their scoring. They're working it around. A lot of pressure out at the perimeter as they work it around, dump it down into the post. Gavin Warnsing kicks it back out. Three-pointer on the way for Bo Bennett, high off the rim and then drops in.
It looked like it was going to come off and then went straight up and fell through.
Nate Philpott for St. Elmo Brownstown bringing it down. His team leads 7-4 early on, 5:40 to go in this first quarter. Eagles working it around the perimeter. Here's Bryden Pruitt, kicks it down into Jacob Barron. His shot is no good, but he gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Jason McWhorter. A three-pointer from the top of the key rattles around, no good. And the fight for the rebound is going to keep it down here for St. Elmo Brownstown.
You wonder whether Bennett's three, something like that, might just be the thing to kickstart them. We'll see what happens their next trip.
Bryden Pruitt inbounding under his own basket, gets it into Philpott in traffic. Tough fall-away jumper is no good. Rebound comes down to Bo Bennett, who wants to bring it down the floor. He's going against Jason McWhorter. McWhorter blocks the shot, but the follow is good. Jackson Miller gets the offensive rebound on the putback, and Windsor Stew Straws within a single tally, 7-6, the St. Elmo Brownstown lead. Eagles with the basketball. Philpott working against Logan Gruhl, kicks it over to McWhorter, who drives in from the right wing, has the ball knocked away, and then he was standing out of bounds, and the ball caromed off of him, so it's going to be a turnover.
They're first, and now the Hatchets, after that timeout, have come back and have a chance to get the lead.
Yes, Windsor Stew Straws has scored 5 straight points within a point, down 7-6 with the basketball. Here's Jackson Miller working against McWhorter, gets it over to Bo Bennett. Bennett surveys the scene, calls out the offense, dribbles into the left wing, no-look pass over there to Jackson Miller. His three-pointer is no good. Rebound comes down to Andy Goldsboro with the board, and he's going to bring it up the floor. Goldsboro calls the play. He's at the volleyball line, top of the key, waiting for his teammates to move. Gets it over to Philpott, right wing. Now he bounces the pass down into Goldsboro. Tough shot off the rim, but it rattles around and good. Andy Goldsboro's first 2 points, and he has his Eagles back up 9-6.
We got the roll. I thought that was going to come up short. Had enough momentum to climb over the rim.
It was a tough shot for Andy. He got it to go. 4 minutes, 8 seconds to go in this first quarter. Windsor Stew Straws with the basketball, working it around the perimeter. Get it over to Bo Bennett. That's a three-pointer from the corner, no good. Fight for the rebound. Comes out in Bryden Pruitt's favor. He's got the ball, and he's bringing it up the floor. Sees the Windsor Stew Straws defense not quite awake. Thought he might drive, instead dribbles it back out. Tries to lob a pass down in there to Jacob Barron. He makes the tough catch and then gets fouled down there. Not sure. There were a couple of Hatchets in the neighborhood.
Maybe Miller. Let's see.
Jackson Miller was down there, but so was Gavin Wernsing.
Wernsing got it. The freshman picks it up. That's first foul on the Hatchets. Each team with just one foul so far, Dustin.
Jacob Barron's got 2 points, and he's got 2 free throws. His first one is off the rim to the left, no good, but he will have another. Substitution for St. Elmo Brownstown, as you see Nick Rossborough come into the game, and he is going to replace Jason McWhorter.
Barron, for a big kid, moves pretty well around the basket. That's a nice catch to get a shot away and draw the foul.
It was indeed, and he gets the second free throw to go, so 1 for 2 trip for him. St. Elmo Brownstown up 10-6 now. They make another substitution as Barron sits down, and they get number 30, Jackson Tisch, in the game for the first time.
Tisch hit him a couple of big threes the other night, so we'll see what happens here.
Windsor Stew Straws with the ball down 4, 10-6, 3 minutes, 38 seconds to go. Hatchets work the ball down into McWhorter. Now a jumper on the baseline is no good. That was Wyatt Smith who put it up, and the rebound came down to the Eagles. Philpott bringing the ball up the floor. Gets it to Goldsboro, top of the key. He dribbles against Wyatt Smith, looking for a screen, kicks it over to Tisch just in the game. Tisch at the top of the key. He gets it back over to Goldsboro, who pulls the trigger for 3. That one is off the rim, no good. Bo Bennett goes up high for the board. He'll bring it down the floor and kick it down to Gruhl. Gruhl trying to bounce it down into Wernsing. Gavin Wernsing's shot is no good in traffic, and the rebound comes down to Andy Goldsboro. Goldsboro with the defensive board and then brings it up the floor, gets it to Philpott, top of the key, spin move at the free throw line. Thought about putting up a shot, instead kicks it over to Goldsboro in the corner. No-look pass into traffic there, and you saw Nick Rossborough get tied up. So the ball is going to go to Windsor Stew Straws.
I saw Rossborough hit the deck, and I didn't know what they were going to call. Called the jump and an out of bounds to the Hatchets here.
You could have seen a foul potentially being called there, but they do indeed call the tied up. Jump ball. Parker Domzalski coming in the game for the first time for Windsor Stew Straws. He's going to replace Logan Gruhl, rather.
Not a lot of points usually out of Domzalski, but good handler of the ball.
And just as you say that, he puts up a long jumper just inside the three-point line. No good. Bryden Pruitt with the board and burns it up the floor in a hurry. But then he's going to be called for carrying the basketball. Got his hand under the dribble a little bit, and it's a St. Elmo Brownstown turnover. 2 turnovers for the Eagles in this first quarter, 2.5 minutes to go in for the initial period. Windsor Sioux Straws bringing the ball up the floor. That's Jackson Miller. Gets it over to Domzalski. Now Bo Bennett, top of the key. Gets it over to Domzalski. In the lane, that's Wyatt Smith. Now back over to Domzalski. That's a 3, no good, and the rebound comes down to Philpott. Philpott again gets the board and brings it up the floor. That's several of these St. Elmo Brownstown players, no problem getting up the floor in a hurry.
And they're really dominating on the boards, Dustin, here in the early going.
Philpott from the right corner dribbles into traffic, and then a 3-pointer on the way for Jackson Tish is good. So a little skip pass, and Tish is on the board for the first time. He's got 3 points, and the Eagles back out to a 7-point lead, 13-6. In fact, that is their largest advantage of the night.
That's what Tish did the other night. Came in, got him a big lift with a couple of quick threes.
Domzalski gets it in the lane. That's number 24, Wyatt Smith. Now back out to the top of the key. Jackson Miller puts up a long 3. That one's off the back iron, no good. Rebound tipped back out to him. As you saw Wyatt Smith get a hand on the rebound and tip it out to the top of the key. So now driving the baseline, they get it into Wyatt Smith in there. He puts the shot up and good.
Good job of settling himself in the lane, and he got the shot down. Windsor Sioux Straws trying to work against an SEB zone, and that time they got the ball inside for a bucket.
Philpott, top of the key. Goldsboro back over to Philpott on the right wing. He tries to pass out traffic. Instead, it's taken away. The steal goes to Jackson Miller, but then they throw it away. So no sooner does St. Elmo Brownstown commit its 3rd turnover, but then Windsor Sioux Straws trying to get up the floor in a hurry, gets its 3rd turnover.
Trying to keep it even. Pruitt sits down for SEB.
Jacob Barron coming back in the action here. 58.9 seconds to go. St. Elmo Brownstown inbounds it on its own end. Philpott almost drug the pivot foot, but manages to keep it under him. Now he settles for a long 3-pointer. That one's no good, and the rebound comes down. Wyatt Smith with the board. Up the floor in a hurry. Bo Bennett gets it down in there. The shot is contested. That is, I'm looking to see, number 20, that's Clay Tabbert in the game, and he was in traffic, got fouled on the shot, so he's going to have a couple of free throws.
Fouls on Philpott. Nate's first. Eagles have 2. Fouls haven't been a big consideration. Just 3 fouls between the 2 teams so far tonight.
Clay Tabbert rattles that first free throw home. A couple of substitutions as we see Pruitt and McWhorter get back in the game. Taking a seat is Rossborough and Nate Philpott going to get a little rest here before the second quarter. Second free throw for Tabbert is off the left iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Pruitt just back in the game. He gets the board, brings it up the floor. Sets up Tish for a 3-pointer, and Tish knocks it down. So a second 3-pointer of the quarter for Jackson Tish, and a 7-point advantage with 30 seconds to go for St. Elmo Brownstown.
Just 3 buckets in the quarter for the Hatchets, so let's see if they can close out the quarter with something here.
They're trying to work it in as the Hatchets throw it into traffic, and it's taken away. Brighton Pruitt with a steal in the lane, burning it up the floor in a hurry, but then they throw it away. So now 4 turnovers apiece for these teams. And Windsor Sioux Straws with the ball. 8 seconds to go. Jackson Miller gets it down to Bo Bennett in the corner, gets it into Tabbert, and then back out to Bennett, a 3-pointer with a second just remaining, and that one's off the iron, no good. The first quarter comes to an end. So St. Elmo Brownstown has the lead after 1 period. The Eagles lead the Windsor Sioux Straws Hatchets 16-9. We'll be back with the second quarter from this NTC tournament in Altamont in a minute on 97.9 XFM.
Brown's Drugstore at 115 West Jefferson Avenue in Effingham is more than just a pharmacy. Check out their Hallmark cards, gifts, healthcare needs, and more. Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM, online at 979xfm.com.
Leisure Times at Keller and Jefferson at Effingham has everything you'll need for your indoor and outdoor recreational needs. Leisure Times, where we specialize in family fun. Crossroads Bank, your locally owned, locally managed, and locally committed bank, has 2 locations to serve you, on South Banker and on North Keller Drive.
Your home for the 84th Annual NTC Tournament, 97.9 XFM.
Back at Altamont, consolation semifinal at this NTC tournament. St. Elmo Brownstown leads Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg 16-9 after one quarter. Greg, you said Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg didn't shoot particularly well in that first half.
Tough quarter, 3 of 11 in the first quarter, 27%, 1 for 6 on threes.
St. Elmo Brownstown with the ball to start this second quarter, and they pick up right where they left off as Jackson Tisch pulled the trigger from three-point range and knocked down another one.
Yeah, he's 3 for 3.
He's got 9 points, and St. Elmo Brownstown with a 10-point lead, their biggest of the night. Windsor Stewardson gets it down there. A three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound for Domzalski. Parker Domzalski got the offensive rebound and then got hacked. I think the initial three-pointer was pulled by Jackson Miller, perhaps, over there on the wing, and he left it a little long. Domzalski chased it down, and the foul goes against Jacob Barron.
He is the hacker. His first foul in the game. 3 on the Eagles in the half.
Domzalski gets his first points of the night as he knocks down that first free throw. You see Barron take a seat. Andy Goldsboro, who got a little breather at the beginning of this quarter, back out on the floor. So Parker Domzalski with his second free throw coming up. That one is also good. 2 points for him and a 19-11 lead for St. Elmo Brownstown.
Gavin Wernsing's back for the Hatchets. They sit Domzalski down, and I think Bob was pleased with the minutes that the young man gave him.
As you mentioned, Wernsing back on the floor, but St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball in the 8-point lead just into the second quarter in Altamont. NTC tournament semifinal, consolation semifinal action. St. Elmo Brownstown working the ball around. Bryden Pruitt gets it over to Nate Philpott. Back to Pruitt. He's going to pull the trigger on a three, and that one's good. So, man, the Eagles are knocking down the three-pointers, and they have an 11-point lead.
That's 5 made threes already for SEB.
And that's got them up 22-11. So St. Elmo, Windsor Stewardson rather with the basketball. They get it down to Potter. He tries the tough shot in traffic. Never got squared up to the basket. Rebound comes down to Jackson Tisch. St. Elmo Brownstown with the ball back. A quick three-pointer down here from Jason McWhorter. A little heat check for these Eagles. That one's no good, and the rebound comes down in Jackson Miller's hands for Windsor Stewardson.
Bryden Pruitt got the foul for SEB. Their third, his first. I mentioned the 3 for 11 for Windsor Stewardson. SEB was 6 out of 12 that first quarter, 50%, and they were also 50% on their threes.
That'll win you some ball games.
Yeah.
Windsor Stewardson with the ball in an 11-point deficit. Tough shot from the lane for Bo Bennett. Gets it to go. A little 15-footer with traffic around him. He's got 5 points, and he's got the Hatchets back within 9. St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball. Nate Philpott top of the key over to McWhorter, and then back to Philpott. Now McWhorter on the left wing. They're playing a little catch there. Finally, Philpott drives, then kicks back out for an open three for McWhorter. That one is well short. And Bryden Pruitt tried to save it inbounds, could not keep his momentum from carrying him out of bounds. It's going to be Hatchet's basketball.
So, stop of sorts. Let's see what happens if the Hatchets can get a bucket now. That could get them back within 7 or even 6. And then the battle will be joined.
They've trailed by as many as 11. Down 9 with the basketball right now are the Hatchets. They've got it over in the left corner now, top of the key. Logan Gruhl. They get it down into Potter, back out to Gruhl. Shot fake, and then a jumper. He passes it over for a jumper for Bennett. He gets it from the other side of the lane this time, about the same distance, a 15-footer. He makes it. 7 points for him and a 7-point deficit for the Hatchets.
Bet he won't be open that much next time.
St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball, having a little trouble playing catch, and now knocked away and finally stolen away by Windsor Stewardson. They're busting it up the field. Jackson Miller taking that first turnover. Now Logan Gruhl with a jumper from the corner. That one's too strong. That two-pointer was too strong, and Jackson Tisch pulled down the board. So St. Elmo Brownstown coming the other way. He's got Jason McWhorter over to Philpott, and back to McWhorter on the wing. Philpott top of the key, little head fake, and then drives in, kicks it back out. That's a three-point try for Goldsboro. That's too strong. Rebound comes down to Gavin Wernsing for the Hatchets. So now St. Elmo Brownstown missing those three-pointers, and not by a little. Windsor Stewardson with the basketball. Wernsing over on the left wing, drives in, and there's a shot in traffic. Gets it to go, banks it in for his first 2 points of the game.
And I think that's 3 straight trips now that the Hatchets have scored.
It is, and I think that Greg Fiesel noticed that as well. The St. Elmo Brownstown coach is going to get himself a timeout. He's going to take a 30-second break, and we'll take it with him. It's St. Elmo Brownstown with a 22-17 lead over Windsor Stewardson. You're listening to NTC Tournament Basketball on 97.9 XFM.
Let our experienced employees at Wright Furniture help you with your furniture and accessory needs. Whether it's just a chair or a house full of furniture, Wright's Furniture and Flooring in Diedrich can help.
Come see all the redesigned Chevrolet and Toyota models at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, located South Route 45 here in Effingham, or at danheck.com.
Locally owned and operated, and proud to serve the Effingham area for more than 25 years. 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.
Greg Fiesel's St. Elmo Brownstown team had a 16-9 lead after a quarter, got it up to 11 points here in the second quarter, but it's dwindled, just 22-17. Eagles with the basketball, however. They got the quick timeout, and we'll see what they get coming out of it. Andy Goldsboro, a little touch pass to Nate Philpott, top of the key. He drives in, bounces back out to Brighton Pruitt. He gives it back to Philpott, back to Pruitt. They're playing catch with it. Goldsboro over on the wing, now back to Pruitt. Philpott, they've reversed the basketball over in the right corner. A little bit of traffic for Philpott. He kicks it out to Goldsboro, who stepped back for a three, and he got that one to go. So another three-pointer for these Eagles.
They've shot it 6 times this quarter, Dustin. 6 times from the field. They've made 3. They've missed 3. They've all been 3s.
They've all been three-pointers, living and dying by the tray, but they do have the 8-point lead. 25-17 Eagles in the lead. Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg with the basketball. Logan Gruel with a three-pointer on this end for the Hatchets. It's no good, but Gavin Wernsing collects the offensive board. And as he tries to go back up with it, he draws some contact. We see Jacob Barron hitting the floor for the Eagles. I don't know if he was the guilty party or not.
Fouls on number 23, and that's Andy Goldsboro's first foul.
So the fouls are leaning one way. 5 fouls against the St. Elmo Brownstown team. Windsor Stewardson with just the one. 5
different kids have a foul for St. Elmo Brownstown.
Gavin Wernsing's first free throw is no good. You see Logan Gruel take a seat for Windsor Stewardson, and number 24, that's Wyatt Smith back in the game. Second free throw for Wernsing on the way. He's got 2 points, and he's going to stay there as that one's too strong. Rebound comes down to Andy Goldsboro for St. Elmo Brownstown. Philpott bringing it up for the Eagles. That tends to be his role with his team, getting it up the floor if it's not a transition situation. He's got the ball top of the key over to Goldsboro. Quick pass down into Nick Rossborough. His shot is no good, and the rebound comes down to Gavin Wernsing. He quickly gets it to Bo Bennett, who wants to bring it up the floor in a hurry. He has got the St. Elmo Brownstown defense stepping up to stop him, but they pass it around a little bit. Shot for Bennett, no good. His two-pointer is off the mark, and Andy Goldsboro pulls down the board for St. Elmo Brownstown.
5 rebounds for Goldsboro now.
Goldsboro brings it up, but then hands it off to Philpott. They'll set things up. Pruitt to Philpott. He's standing out a step shy of midcourt. Waits for the defense to come out to him. He'll skip pass over, and then back to Philpott, top of the key. So they're just sort of working it around, waiting to see if something develops here. Philpott with the dribble. Gets it over there to Nick Rossborough. Back to Philpott. Bryden Pruitt now steps up for a three. That one's too strong. Rebound comes down to Clay Tabbert for Windsor Stewardson. A little confusion there as they try to get the ball up the floor, but they do retain possession. The Hatchets with the ball in an 8-point deficit. 2 minutes, 33 seconds to go before halftime.
And nobody's scored for a while.
It has been a little bit. We'll see if the Hatchets can change it. You see Wernsing kick it out for a tough baseline jumper for Bennett. That one's no good, and Jacob Barron came down with the board. There was a whistle. I think that they're going to say that somebody was on his back as he had the position for that rebound.
Bring in the sub. I want to double check on the foul. It's on Wyatt Smith. His first. That's just 2 fouls on the Hatchets in the game.
And sitting down is Nick Rossborough for St. Elmo Brownstown. I believe Jackson Tisch came back in the game. Eagles with the basketball, just over 2 minutes to go. Here's Philpott, drives in the lane, a little hesitation, and just puts up the 2-point jumper. That one's good inside the free throw line, and then we get a timeout. A 30-second timeout for Windsor Stewardson. They trail St. Elmo Brownstown 27-17. Back in 30 seconds, NTC basketball on 97.9 XFM.
Bank anytime, anywhere with Washington Savings Bank's virtual branch. Good luck to all the area teams during the Christmas Classic basketball tournament. Washington Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Keller Drive in Effingham will find a car that works for you. Check out their selection of cars and trucks today.
Your home for the 84th annual NTC tournament. 97.9 XFM.
St. Elmo Brownstown leading Windsor Stewardson 27-17. The Hatchets got themselves another timeout. They've been down by as many as 11 in this quarter. They got it back within 5, but now find themselves down double digits again, a 10-point deficit for Coach Bob Lockhart's team, and he wanted to get a word in for these last 2 minutes of the half.
They're scuffling 6 baskets for the Hatchets in the first half.
They are indeed struggling. They're down 10. They do have the ball. Bo Bennett with it on the left wing. He tries to bounce a pass in, and it's kicked by Nate Philpott for the St. Elmo Brownstown club. So Windsor Stew-Straws will retain possession and try to get it inbound here. Wyatt Smith going to trigger the inbound there on the sideline. Gets it to Bennett in the left corner. Gets it down into the post. That's Gavin Wernsing, who had Jacob Barron all over him, and Barron, good defense, got him to step on the baseline.
Actually, 3 seconds, I think, might have been the call,
okay,
which we see about once a month or every other month.
Either way, a turnover, and you see Barron take a seat for St. Elmo Brownstown as they will run Jace McWhorter back in the game.
This is the first turnover on the Hatchets in the quarter, Dustin. 1 turnover for each team this second quarter.
Make that 2 for St. Elmo Brownstown as they have a pass from Andy Goldsboro tipped and into the hands of Clay Tabbert. So Windsor Stew-Straws gets the ball back. 1.5 minutes to go in the half, and the Hatchets trail by 10. See what they can do about that. Here's a three-pointer for Wyatt Smith. That one's no good, and the board comes down to Goldsboro for St. Elmo Brownstown. He bounces a long pass to McWhorter, who drives into 3 guys and manages to draw the contact to get himself to the foul line.
1 on 3, but it worked out because he got the foul called, right? And the fouler is Wyatt Smith. Hatchets only has 3 fouls, but Smith has 2 of them.
Wyatt, as you said, the guilty party. Jace McWhorter at the foul line. He's on the board officially as he makes that first free throw, his first points of the game. He is the 6th different Eagle to score points in this first half. In fact, I think almost everybody who's seen the floor has scored, and McWhorter makes the second as well. And they will they'll take Jackson Tisch back out of the game and get Jacob Barron back in to play defense here. 1:15 to go. Windsor Stew-Straws with the basketball. Bo Bennett out there, top of the key, gets it over to the corner now. A jumper from the free throw line. That one is good, and that one is knocked down by
Clay Tabbert, just inside the foul line.
I'll tell you, I just have a little bit of trouble reading the numbers. I knew it was 20-something. It was number 20, Clay Tabbert, to make it. He's got 3 points. Windsor Stew-Straws back within 10.
Hatchets in this zone. They're trying to make SEB shoot over it. Thing is, they're making so many threes. So that's kind of counteracting that defense.
St. Elmo Brownstown, 40 seconds to go. I don't know if they'll play for the last shot or not, but they haven't really advanced the ball too far inside. They haven't gotten inside the three-point line at all. And if Windsor Stew-Straws lays back, they will be content to do it. You see Bo Bennett step up on Philpott. They kicks it over to Pruitt and back over to Philpott. Now over to Goldsboro on the other wing. He dribbles up a couple steps. They kick it back out. So now 17 seconds to go, and I'm guessing that Coach Feasel is saying, get that last shot. 13 seconds to go. Goldsboro, top of the key. Got Philpott coming around the screen. Instead kicks it over to Pruitt in the other corner. That's a three-pointer, and that one's good.
What a tough shot.
3 seconds to go, and it's perfect. It doesn't even leave Windsor Stew-Straws a chance to inbound the ball, and the Hatchets will face their biggest deficit of the game going into halftime. St. Elmo Brownstown with that Brighton Pruitt three-pointer just before the buzzer will take a 32-19 lead into the break. So we will be back for our halftime festivities. Again, St. Elmo Brownstown leading Windsor Stew-Straws 32-19 in this consolation semifinal of the National Trail Conference Tournament. We'll come back and take a look at some scoring, some stats, see if we've got any scores from the area yet tonight. All that when we come back for our halftime show here at Altamont on 97.9 XFM.
Brown's Drugstore at 115 West Jefferson Avenue in Effingham is more than just a pharmacy. Check out their Hallmark cards, gifts, healthcare needs, and more. Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM. Online at 979xfm.com.
Leisure Times at Keller and Jefferson at Effingham has everything you'll need for your indoor and outdoor recreational needs. Leisure Times, where we specialize in family fun. Crossroads Bank, your locally owned, locally managed, and locally committed bank, has 2 locations to serve you, on South Banker and on North Keller Drive.
Your home for the 84th Annual NTC Tournament, 97.9 XFM.
This is the Compass Advisory Group Halftime Show. For all of your insurance needs, contact Corey McDaniel or Kurt Strohmeyer at 347-9697.
All right, back here at Altamont Community High School, halftime of this consolation semifinal between St. Elmo Brownstown and Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg, and it's the Eagles with the 32-19 lead over the Hatchets. First game, this is the second of 3 games here tonight. In the opener this evening, South Central posted the 58-28 win over Cowden Herrick Beecher City, which means that the Cougars will advance to play a consolation semifinal against Neoga tomorrow night. And, of course, the winner of that game will play in the consolation championship against the winner of this game. And after we get done with this one tonight, this middle game, we still got one to go. This will be a championship semifinal between top-rated St. Anthony and North Clay. We think that ought to be a pretty good ball game. And it's been a pretty good ball game for St. Elmo Brownstown so far in this first half. Their 13-point lead here at 32-19 is their biggest of the night. And they did it scoring 16 points in each of those first 2 quarters. The Eagles 16 points in the first quarter, 16 points in the second quarter. They had a 16-9 lead after one period, and then they outscored Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg 16-10 in the second. As far as your scoring in that first half, leading the way for St. Elmo Brownstown is Jackson Tisch with 9 points. He's knocked down 3 three-pointers, and when Greg gets to his stats, you're going to find that the three-point ball was a pretty big factor for these Eagles. 7 points for Nate Philpott in the first half, and 6 points for Brighton Pruitt. Also for the Eagles, Andy Goldsboro scored 5. Jacob Barron tallied 3, and Jace McWhorter got on the board with a couple points of his own. Nick Rossborough has played a little bit in this first half, but has not scored for the Eagles. For Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg, 7 points from Bo Bennett lead the way, and then they just got a lot of small contributions from everyone else. Wyatt Smith with 3 points, Clay Tabbert has 3 in the first half, Jackson Miller with 2 points, Gavin Wernsing 2, Parker Domzalski with 2 points. And then you've seen Logan Gruhl play a little bit. He is yet to he's yet to score in this first half. And remember, both of these teams without usual contributors, as Rocky Himes not playing for St. Elmo Brownstown, and starter Adam Burton also not playing for Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg. So again, at halftime, it is a 32-19 lead for St. Elmo Brownstown over Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg. We'll come back and take a look at some halftime statistics after this on 97.9 XFM.
Let our experienced employees at Wright Furniture help you with your furniture and accessory needs. Whether it's just a chair or a house full of furniture, Wright's Furniture and Flooring in Diedrich can help.
Come see all the redesigned Chevrolet and Toyota models at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, located south Route 45 here in Effingham, or at danheck.com.
Locally owned and operated, and proud to serve the Effingham area for more than 25 years. 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Bank anytime, anywhere with Washington Savings Bank's virtual branch. Good luck to all the area teams during the Christmas Classic basketball tournament. Washington Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Keller Drive in Effingham will find a car that works for you. Check out their selection of cars and trucks today.
Your home for the 84th Annual NTC Tournament, 97.9 XFM.
Windsor Stew-Stras trailing St. Elmo Brownstown 32-19 at halftime of this consolation semifinal, and Greg Sapp's going to take you through the stats from that first half of action.
Thank you, Dustin. At halftime, it's a lead for St. Elmo Brownstown over Windsor Stew-Stras, as Dustin mentioned, 32-19. St. Elmo Brownstown 50% from the field in that first half with all those threes. They were 11 of 22, 6 of 12 the first quarter, 5 of 10 the second quarter, so they were 50, 50, and 50. And on threes, 3 for 6 in the first quarter, 4 for 8 on the second quarter, 7 of 14 at half, 50, 50, 50. Now that's 50% shooting. They were 3 for 4 from the line for 75%, just 6 turnovers. That's a great number. 2 in the second quarter, and they had 15 rebounds. Hatchets, plain and simply, just haven't shot the ball well. 7 of 22 overall for 32%. They're 1 for 9 on threes, so that has to change if the Eagles are going to keep making half of theirs. So 7 of 22 for 32%, 3 of 11 the first quarter, 4 of 11 the second quarter. Hatchets are 4 for 6 from the line for 67%, just 5 turnovers, and they only had 1 in the second quarter. They had 10 rebounds, so St. Elmo Brownstown with a 15-10 rebound edge as well. So they have the edge, obviously, in the stats. Individually, for the Eagles, Brighton Pruitt is 2 for 4 from the field. The 2 he made were 3, so he's sitting on 6 points with 3 rebounds. And a foul. Jace McWhorter's 0 for 2 from the field, but 2 for 2 from the line for his 2 points with a foul and a rebound. Andy Goldsboro's been busy. 2 for 5, a 2 and a 3, so he has 5 points with 6 rebounds and a foul. Nate Philpott, 3 for 5 from the field, including a 3, so he has 7 points with 2 rebounds and a foul. Jacob Barron, 1 for 2 from the field and from the line, so he has 3 points with a foul and a rebound. Jackson Tisch, dial 3, he's 3 for 3 on threes for 9 points with 2 rebounds. And Nick Rossborough missed a shot. 16 a quarter for St. Elmo Brownstown's 32 points here at halftime. For Windsor Stew-Stras, Jackson Miller 1 for 4 from the field for his 2 points with a rebound. Bo Bennett, 3 for 7 from the field. He has 7 points with 2 rebounds. Gavin Wernsing, 1 for 2 from the field for 2 points with 3 rebounds. He has a foul. Parker Domzowski's 0 for 2 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line for his 2 points with a rebound. Wyatt Smith, 1 for 3 from the field, 1 for 2 from the line for his 3 points with 2 fouls and a rebound. Logan Gruel is 0 for 2 from the field, but does have a rebound. Clay Tabbert, 1 for 2 from the field, 1 for 2 from the line for his 3 points with a rebound. 8 and 11 for the Hatchets, 19 points here at halftime. And we already heard from Brian, he has no scores, but he will, by golly. He will over the course of the evening, so stay tuned for that. And Dustin already set the stage for the next game as North Clay plays St. Anthony. Bulldogs come into that action with 14 wins. North Clay with 17 wins, so that could be some fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that, and obviously the winner of that will play for the championship Saturday night, so it'll be high drama indeed. And, you know, both of these clubs here that are playing right now looking for that consolation championship, and in the field that we have here at the NTC, winning that consolation championship is going to be no small feat. So good for Windsor Stew-Stras. It's just going to be a matter of what they do coming out of this halftime, trying to chip away at this 13-point deficit.
Live video streaming, and Wayne tells us Christopher Miller watching from Zanesville, Ohio, cheering on Windsor Stew-Stras and Jackson Miller. I have a feeling he knows him.
Windsor Stew-Stras has the basketball to kick off this third quarter of play. Again, they trail 32-19. Quick bucket, quick jumper, no good for Tabbert. The rebound.
Yeah, I thought it was good too.
From our vantage point, it kind of looked like it went down, but obviously didn't. Gavin Wernsing grabbed the offensive rebound, though, and that second bite at the apple is going to get him a trip to the free throw line.
Second foul on Nate Philpott. That's how the second half opens.
Wernsing knocks down the first one. So Windsor Stew-Stras on the board first here in this second half of play, just 20 seconds in. Wernsing's second one is also good, so give him 4 points. And Hatchet's back within 11, 32-21. Windsor Stew-Stras, or St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball, rather. Nate Philpott dribbled in just inside the three-point line, then back out, looking to go one-on-one with Tabbert. Gets him off his feet with a shot fake and then leans in and draws the foul. So he identified a matchup that he liked defensively and exploited it.
A very senior move there by Nate Philpott. Good job of taking the defender with him and drawing the foul. Foul on Tabbert, his first on the Hatchets in the half.
Philpott had 7 points in that first half, and he's up to 8 as he makes the first of 2 free throws. He is a confident young man out there, and you mentioned he missed some time, and I imagine that this team missed him in his absence. Philpott's second free throw also good, so he's got 9 and gets the Eagle lead back up to 13. So each team scores 2 points on free throws, and it's opening possession of the half. Windsor Stew-Straws with the basketball. Bo Bennett, top of the key, kicks it over to Wyatt Smith. He bounces in to Wernsing, who kicks back out for a three-pointer attempt. That one is good. Jackson Miller, who we just mentioned him, and he knocks one down. He's got 5.
So a big 3 after the teams exchange made foul shots. Let's see whether the Hatchets can get a stop.
Philpott drives into the lane, little spin move. Contested jumper is no good. Rebound comes down to Bennett, who brings it all the way up the floor, then kicks it back out to Miller. Shot fake, drives, kicks over to Wernsing. Skip pass over to Bennett in the corner. He dribbles in, then back out, and back to the top of the key. That's Miller. They will reset things as they didn't get any matchups they particularly liked. Tried to bounce it in there and had it knocked away for a second, but the ball kicks back out to Jackson Miller, and he finds himself open for another 3, and he buries it.
They drain the 3 on either side of the floor.
And the lead for St. Elmo Brownstown is down to 7, and Greg Feasel has seen enough. He gets himself a timeout. We'll take it with him. It's 34-27. St. Elmo Brownstown leading Windsor Stew-Straws here on 97.9 XFM.
Brown's Drugstore at 115 West Jefferson Avenue in Effingham is more than just a pharmacy. Check out their Hallmark cards, gifts, healthcare needs, and more. Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM. Online at 979xfm.com.
Well, Windsor Stew-Straws has trimmed its 13-point halftime deficit down to 7, so St. Elmo Brownstown got the quick timeout. They lead 34-27 with the basketball. Andy Goldsboro with a quick shot on the baseline. That one's too strong. Rebound comes down to Clay Tabbert, and Windsor Stew-Straws could get within 4 or 5 points on this possession. They're down 7 with the ball. Bo Bennett, top of the key, looking to pass it in. Instead kicks it over to Wyatt Smith. Down into Tabbert, back out to Smith. Long two-pointer is no good, but Bo Bennett snuck in the back door, got the offensive rebound, and laid it back in.
So is that 8 straight?
It is. Bo Bennett's got 9, and it is a 5-point game. 34-29. St. Elmo Brownstown has seen its 13-point lead trimmed in more than half, and 5.5 to go here in this third quarter. St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball, slowing things down a little bit, see what they can get going here. Goldsboro takes his man off the dribble, drives in. Tough shot is no good. He tried to follow his miss, and I think Clay Tabbert is going to get whistled for a foul in the contest for that board.
Yeah, Tabbert went in for a shot at the board and instead fouled Goldsboro, his second, and he has both of the Hatchets fouls in the second half and out of bounds the Eagles. Yeah,
Goldsboro was fouled going for the rebound, not on the first shot he put up, so no free throws. They get it in. It's a three-pointer for Jackson Tisch. That one's short, and in the ensuing scrum for the rebound, Bryden Pruitt apparently bounced it on the baseline.
Tisch just kind of let it go as soon as he touched it. He didn't get his feet set, and that came up way short.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was ever quite set up, so St. Elmo Brownstown could see its lead fall even further. They are still ahead 5, 34-29, but Windsor Stew-Straws with the basketball. Here's Gavin Wernsing with an 18-footer from the baseline, and that one's good. Wernsing with 6 points, and the Hatchets are within 3.
They've got as many baskets as they had in the second quarter, and more than they had in the first quarter.
We have seen them close the gap a little bit, only to have it widen again. We'll see if this time's any different. They get a steal. A turnover, no, as St. Elmo Brownstown actually gets the ball back, and now they're scrumming for it again. I'm telling you, the ball changed possessions about 3 times right there.
Oh, the humanity.
And I think in the end, it's going to stay down on the St. Elmo Brownstown end of the floor.
That was English rules football for a minute.
They finally ended in a tie-up as someone tried to throw one inbounds and kind of missed the mark. He's trying to throw it off of an opposing player, and then someone else fell on it. Meanwhile, they inbound it to Goldsboro. His shot is no good, and the rebound comes down to Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg.
Goldsboro got too far under the basket, didn't he?
Bennett brings it up, gets it back on the top of the key. They've got it to Tabbert. There's a free throw line jumper. That one's short. Rebound comes down to Jackson Tisch for St. Elmo Brownstown, and Philpott will bring the ball up the floor. Philpott gives it over to Tisch. Tisch with another quick three, and that one's good. A little fist pump to Jackson Tisch as he knocks that one down. He's got 12 points, leads all scorers, and gets St. Elmo Brownstown up by 6.
And that's 12 points on 4 threes that he's hit.
That's definitely his role in this St. Elmo Brownstown offense, and he has fulfilled it. Meanwhile, Gavin Wernsing brings the ball up, and he drives the basket, had his shot contested by Jacob Barron, and then it came down off his foot and out of bounds.
Nice shot. When you reach from behind, sometimes you get called for a foul. Barron, nice clean block, though, and then got it back off Wernsing out of bounds, as you said.
Barron takes a seat, and they're going to run Nick Rossborough back in the game, are the Eagles. So St. Elmo Brownstown with the ball in the 6-point lead, just under 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Eagles trying to build their lead back up. They've been up by as many as 13. They've seen the lead go all the way down to 4 points, rather. Rossborough drives into the lane and draws a little bit of contact. I think he kind of just threw it up there hoping to draw contact, and he was obliged.
And, yeah, he initiated the contact, but the guys were still moving on defense, and Wernsing gets called for the foul, his second. 3 different Hatchets players have 2 fouls now. They have 3 in the half.
Nick Rossborough hasn't scored yet, and his first free throw is off the mark, no good. He's the only guy for the Eagles who has seen any action who hasn't found the scoreboard. His second free throw is good, though, and so he ends that. He's got a single point, and he's got his Eagles back up by 7, 38-31. 3:37 to go in the third quarter, and Hatchet basketball.
So there you go. It was 3, now it's 7.
Jackson Miller gets it over to Wyatt Smith, top of the key, back to Miller. He dribbles over to the top of the key, and he'll get it to Smith on the left wing. He bounces the pass down into Tabbert. Tabbert, a tough shot as he went into the lane through traffic. Couldn't get it to go, and the rebound comes down to Nick Rossborough. St. Elmo Brownstown now up 7, and they got the ball back. Down in the corner is Rossborough. Now gets it up to Goldsboro at the top of the key. Tisch now holds it on the right wing, bounces it into Goldsboro. He's trying to muscle his way in, and he gets the turnaround shot to go.
He's been working hard. He missed 3, got that one down. All of a sudden, they're back up 9.
And Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg doesn't like that. They're going to get the timeout. Coach Bob Lockhart's team trails 40-31, and he'll get the timeout. 2:54 to go in the third quarter. NTC Tournament Basketball on 97.9 XFM.
Niemerg Steakhouse has been serving Effingham and the surrounding communities for the past 40 years. Niemerg Steakhouse, proud supporters of local and area high school sports.
Good luck to area teams at the National Trail Conference Tournament this week. From your F&N Napa Auto Parts store, use that Napa know-how for money-saving deals.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM. Online at 979xfm.com.
Let our experienced employees at Wright Furniture help you with your furniture and accessory needs. Whether it's just a chair or a house full of furniture, Wright's Furniture and Flooring in Diedrich can help.
Come see all the redesigned Chevrolet and Toyota models at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, located south Route 45 here in Effingham, or at danheck.com.
Locally owned and operated, and proud to serve the Effingham area for more than 25 years. 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Hump. They have gotten it within a couple of baskets a couple different times tonight, but they found themselves back down 9, and Coach Bob Lockhart got a timeout. Hatchets with the ball, trailing St. Elmo Brownstown 40-31 here at Altamont. Bo Bennett drives into the lane, kicks back out. Now they get it in the corner. That's Jackson Miller, who dribbles a couple times. Top of the key is Wyatt Smith. Back over to Miller. He dribbles to the top of the key. Kicks it back out. Bennett going to set things back up as they're trying to penetrate the St. Elmo Brownstown defense, but not really finding any openings. Now Wyatt Smith with the basketball. He bounces one into Wernsing. He's going to try to take Goldsboro one-on-one, and he successfully does so. Gets the shot to go and draws the foul.
Bob Lockhart sitting down there saying, yeah, see what happens when you take the ball to the basket?
Yeah, Wernsing a little bull in the china shop action there from the top of the lane, and he gets the foul on Goldsboro. He's got a chance for a 3-point play.
Andy Goldsboro's second foul.
The free throw no good, and Goldsboro goes up high for the board, however, so Windsor Stewardson cuts it to within 7, and then on the other end, a quick three for Jackson Tish, and somebody better pick that young man up. He hits it from the wing. He's got 5 3-pointers. That's 15 points, and the lead back up to 10 for the Eagles.
And he's only missed one shot, Dustin. He's 5 for 6 on threes.
The last 3-pointer he made, we got the single fist pump. That time he got the double fist pump. He is feeling it out there. Meanwhile, Windsor Stewardson with the basketball. A jumper for Wyatt Smith just inside the 3-point line doesn't go, but that's because someone hit him on the arm.
Rossboro got him, I think. Let's see if Steve Boswell agrees. He does. Foul on Rossboro is his first, and that's 3 on the Eagles is that.
Not a foul you like to see committed if you're a coach on a jumper from just inside the 3-point line. Meanwhile, the free throw for Wyatt Smith is good. He's got 4 points, and his second one good as well. So Wyatt, he's got 5. Windsor Stewardson pulls within 8, and they'll make a substitution as Smith takes a seat, and they are going to get Parker Domzalski back in the game. So St. Elmo basketball. St. Elmo Brownstown with the 8-point lead, 43-35, a minute 40 to go in this third quarter. Consolation semifinal at the NTC tournament.
Smith make those foul shots, I'm sorry.
He made both of them.
Thank you. Fell asleep there.
St. Elmo Brownstown with the ball. This is Jackson Tish. Now gets it over to Pruitt in the corner to Rossboro.
Sorry, I had somebody delivering the water there.
Pruitt drives in the lane, tries to kick back out, has it knocked away. That's a turnover. Windsor Stewardson with the ball. Bringing it up the floor in a hurry. Here's a pull-up jumper. That one is good for Bo Bennett.
Well, he's got a nice soft shot.
He really does. He loves those mid-range jumpers. He cuts one down there. That's 11 for him, and the Hatchet's back within 6. 43-37, under a minute to go. St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball, and Tish, there's the heat check 3. That one's no good. He had a hand in his face that time. They tried to save it in bounds. Goldsboro does, but Domzalski for Windsor Stewardson comes away with a loose ball. On the other end, a bounce pass into Tabbert in the lane is contested. It's tied up, and it looks like it's going to stay down here with the Hatchets.
Change here. Barron's going to run in for the Eagles. They give Goldsboro a breather. He's got a couple of fouls. I'm sure Greg doesn't want him to get his third here right at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, 44.6 seconds to go, so they will go ahead and probably get Goldsboro out for the remainder of the period. Meanwhile, Windsor Stewardson gets it inbound and under the basket out to the top of the key now. 3-pointer for Jackson Miller. He found the opening and knocked it down. He's got 11 now, and Windsor Stewardson is within 3 points.
And he's hit 3 for 3 on threes in the quarter. So quite a battle between Miller and Tish.
Hatchets have trailed by as many as 13, but they're within 3 here. St. Elmo Brownstown with the ball, 20 seconds to go in the third quarter, and they're probably going to be looking for that last one. Nate Philpott with the ball in his hand currently. 13 seconds to go. Gets it over to Pruitt now, left wing. Pruitt dribbles back out. Top of the key. They've got an opening. That's Nick Rossboro for 3. Rattles in and out, and the rebound comes down to Wernsing. Can they get a 3-pointer away? Oh, my goodness. That was very close as Jackson Miller took the runner from about midcourt. It hit the rim, but it could not go down. The Windsor Stewardson goes on a little run and pulls within 3. We're heading into the fourth quarter, and it is a 43-40 lead for St. Elmo Brownstown over Windsor Stewardson. Back in a minute with the fourth quarter here on 97.9 XFM.
Leisure Times at Keller and Jefferson at Effingham has everything you'll need for your indoor and outdoor recreational needs. Leisure Times, where we specialize in family fun. Crossroads Bank, your locally owned, locally managed, and locally committed bank, has 2 locations to serve you, on South Banker and on North Keller Drive.
Your home for the 84th annual NTC tournament, 97.9 XFM.
Niemerg Steakhouse has been serving Effingham and the surrounding communities for the past 40 years. Niemerg Steakhouse, proud supporters of local and area high school sports.
Good luck to area teams at the National Trail Conference Tournament this week. From your F&N Napa Auto Parts store, use that Napa know-how for money-saving deals.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM. Online at 97.9XFM.com.
Well, St. Elmo Brownstown has led Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg by as many as 13, but we go into this fourth quarter, and it's a 3-point game. The Eagles in the lead. They have the basketball, and we're getting it underway in a hurry. Jackson Tisch over to Nate Philpott in the right corner. Eagles looking to get something going here on the scoreboard. Bounce it down in. That's a turnaround jumper for Jacob Barron. No good on the blocks, and the rebound comes down to Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg's Gavin Warnsing. Hatchets could tie on this trip. They've never led, but they could tie right here.
They've been in this position a couple of times.
Hatchets kick it over to Domzalski. Top of the key now Bennett. He tries to drive in. He's cut off by Philpott. Now hands it off. Back over to Domzalski on the opposite wing. Now here's a corner three for Gavin Warnsing, and he knocks it down. Tie ball game. 43 all, 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go.
To see all that other basketball as all for naught. Here we go now.
Windsor Stewardson-Strasburg is trailed by as many as 13. They have evened things up. St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball now, and a foul on Jackson Miller as he was not exactly sure what he was trying to do, but he put a forearm in the player's back and gets called for the foul there about 30 feet away from the basket.
Yeah, and he's going over and tapping him on the back. Sorry, man.
I don't know that he even meant to do it. He might have been just trying to keep his balance over there.
Goldsboro was the player he ran into. First foul on Millard. Still just 4. Neither team. 3 for the Eagles, 4 for the Hatchets. Team fouls in the second half.
Yeah, so this becomes a close game. We may see some team have to go on a foul flurry of sorts, but right now it's 43 all tie. St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball. Goldsboro pulls up and banks one in. Andy Goldsboro gets his Eagles back in the lead, 45-43.
He'd missed 3 straight shots. Now he's hit a couple in a row.
That was a good, strong move for him and a nice little 12-footer off the glass. And now Parker Domzalski with a 3 on the other end, way too strong, and Goldsboro pulls down the board for the Eagles.
That's 8 rebounds for Goldsboro.
He is having a nice little game, and now they've got to work down in, and that is Jacob Barron who found an opening. He doesn't make the shot, but that's because he got hacked, and so now all of a sudden the Eagles have a chance to open up their lead a bit.
Hacker was Clay Tabbert. That's his 3rd. They only have 5 fouls in the half. He's the first kid for either team to get the 3 fouls.
First free throw for Jacob Barron is good. He's got 4 points, and he's got one more coming. See, for St. Elmo Brownstown, Jason McWhorter takes a seat, and Bryant Pruitt comes back in. For the Hatchets, you got Parker Domzalski having a seat, and Wyatt Smith replaces him. So 1 sub apiece, and Jacob Barron makes his 2nd free throw. So give him 5 and gives St. Elmo Brownstown a 4-point lead, 47-43.
So the Hatchets caught them, but they never got ahead, and now the Eagles are stretching it out again.
It's true. The Hatchets still have never had a lead, but they did get it back even. Big trip for them here. I think every trip is going to be big for the rest of this game for both teams. Warnsing ran into some traffic there in the lane, kicked it back out. Now they find Bo Bennett open for a 3 in the corner. That's no good. Goldsboro with a strong position for rebound, and then good hands to secure with 2 Windsor Stewardson players around him. So the Eagles with the basketball, and Goldsboro, in fact, has it top of the key right now. Gets it over to Pruitt, right wing. 2 or 3 steps behind the three-point line. He tries to drive in, gets 1 step inside the three-point line, and then kicks back out to Goldsboro. Still working on that right wing. He looks for a pick from Philpott, then bounces into Philpott. Little give and go. Philpott's jumper Barron's jumper is no good, but the rebound comes back down to the Eagles.
Philpott, you knew he was going to get it.
We'll go with that. Philpott has the ball right now, though, and he puts up a turnaround jumper, and that one is good.
You could see it coming.
Degree of difficulty for that one was pretty high for Philpott, but he got it to go. He's got 11 points, and now the Hatchets are going to call the timeout. They see themselves down by a half dozen. Coach Bob Lockhart is going to try and stop the bleeding. St. Elmo Brownstown 49, Windsor Stewardson 43. Consolation semifinal action at the NTC tournament here on 97.9 XFM.
Brown's Drugstore at 115 West Jefferson Avenue in Effingham is more than just a pharmacy. Check out their Hallmark cards, gifts, healthcare needs, and more. Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM, online at 979xfm.com.
Every time Bob Lockhart has used a timeout, it seems like it's worked. The only problem is they're sort of running out of them.
One left, but if they get on a jag as they have after the others, they may be just fine.
Windsor Stu Straws with the basketball, trailing St. Elmo Brownstown by a half dozen, 49-43. Still just under 5 minutes to go in this consolation semifinal. The Hatchets have trailed by as many as 13. They've tied it in this quarter, but they find themselves down 6. They are trying to work it in against St. Elmo Brownstown, but not having much luck. Kind of stuck over here on the left side of the floor for the Hatchets. Now Bo Bennett, top of the key, looking for a pick perhaps, and they call him for a double dribble. So interesting turnover, and not a timely one for the Hatchets.
That's their first turnover in the half.
First turnover in the half. Well, you certainly can't fault them there. They've taken good care of the basketball, but not a great time for it. St. Elmo Brownstown with the ball and a chance to go up by as many as 9.
They have 2 turnovers since the first quarter. But, boy, that is a tough time for that one to happen.
Jackson Tisch currently dribbling the ball for the Eagles, gets it over to Brighton Pruitt. Now he finds Goldsboro in the corner. He faked a 3 and drove in, but he put his shoulder down. It's going to get called for a charge as number 13, Jackson Miller, stood his ground there on the left block.
So the foul on Goldsboro, his 3rd. That's 4 and a half, and a turnover. That's St. Elmo's first in the quarter, and only their 2nd turnover in the half.
Windsor Stu Straws desperately needed to get the ball back there, and they do indeed. Now here's a 3 on the way for Gavin Wernsing, no good. Trying to get the rebound is Jackson Miller, and apparently he got a little too handsy in his battle for position there.
Yep, his 2nd foul. That's still just 6. The next one will put St. Elmo Brownstown at the line.
St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball. 3:43 to go in this 4th quarter. They have a 6-point lead over Windsor Stu Straws. Philpott drives in to the free throw line, kicks it back out for a corner 3 from Goldsboro. That one's no good. Rebound secured by Bo Bennett for Windsor Stu Straws. He made a pass but then got it right back, lobs one down into Clay Tabbert. He got a couple of defenders off of their feet with the shot fake and was able to draw a foul, so he'll go to the free throw line.
Got a shot away and drew the foul, and they gave it to Tisch. He and Barron were both there. Jackson Tisch's first foul. Still just 5 on SEB in the half.
Unfortunately, the first free throw doesn't draw iron there, as you might see a little bit of fatigue showing on that one. Tabbert left it a little bit short. See if he can recalibrate here. That one off to the right, no good, and the rebound comes down to Andy Goldsboro for St. Elmo Brownstown.
That is 10 rebounds now for Goldsboro.
Goldsboro, a point shy of a double-double. He's got 9. Meanwhile, Philpott drives into trying to get a pass in. He got caught, picked up his dribble and was trying to dump a pass into Barron and threw it away.
Boy, and he had good angle, and Barron had just one kid to beat and just threw it a little wide.
So St. Elmo Brownstown has had 2 or 3 possessions where they have tried to build onto that 6-point lead, haven't been able to do it. Windsor Stu Straws has had 2 or 3 possessions trying to cut into it. They haven't been able to do it. They've got the ball here. Wernsing kicks it out for a little 18-footer for Wyatt Smith, and Smith answers the bell, knocks down that jumper. 49-45, a 4-point lead for St. Elmo Brownstown.
1 timeout left for the Hatchets, 3 for the Eagles.
Under 3 minutes to go in this game, and St. Elmo Brownstown's got the basketball. Here's Jackson Tisch, open for a 3, and he got it. Boy, have we heard this song a time or 2 before. He got it to go.
His 6th made 3.
He's got 18 points, and he's got his team back up by 7, the most they've led by in a while. Here's a pull-up jumper on the baseline, though, for Jackson Miller for Windsor Stu Straws.
That's a big shot.
Got that one to go, and then a quick timeout. So we'll take it with them. St. Elmo Brownstown with a 52-47 lead over Windsor Stu Straws. NTC tournament basketball action from Altamont on 97.9 XFM.
Bank anytime, anywhere with Washington Savings Bank's virtual branch. Good luck to all the area teams during the Christmas Classic basketball tournament. Washington Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Keller Drive in Effingham will find a car that works for you. Check out their selection of cars and trucks today.
Your home for the 84th annual NTC tournament. 97.9 XFM.
Brown's Drugstore at 115 West Jefferson Avenue at Effingham is more than just a pharmacy. Check out their Hallmark cards, gifts, healthcare needs, and more. Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM, online at 979xfm.com.
2:21 to go here in the fourth quarter. Windsor Stew Straws just used its final timeout. The Hatchets trail St. Elmo Brownstown 52-47. They used that timeout. It is St. Elmo Brownstown basketball, and it looks like they may have decided, the Hatchets that is, to put on a little more full court pressure. So the Eagles do get the ball down the floor, but they get a 5-second count on Nate Philpott, who was trying to find someone to pass off to and just couldn't do it.
Some of the Hatchets fans thought maybe he'd palmed the basketball. He didn't get that call, but instead got called for the 5 count. Eagles' third turnover this quarter, 10 in the game.
Tabbert and Warnting entered the game for St. Elmo, or for Windsor Stew Straws. Meanwhile, and you see Nick Rossborough take the place of Jacob Barron for the Eagles. Windsor Stew Straws basketball. Warnting's got it. Here's a free throw line jumper. That one's no good. Rebound tipped up, and Bo Bennett somehow came away with it and draws contact. So a great effort from Bo Bennett to kind of come out of nowhere and get that offensive rebound and get himself a trip to the free throw line.
Got fouled from behind. That was a heck of an effort because I think the Eagles kid thought he had the rebound dead to right.
Well, I don't think there's any reason not to think he did. He had the position, but Bennett, man, he just came flying in there.
Yep.
Bennett makes the first free throw, so boy, a big offensive rebound, and then gets it to go, and you see the defense-offense shuffle for Windsor Stew Straws as they get Domzalski and Gruel back in the game and sit down, Warnting.
And second foul on Rossborough, by the way.
Bo Bennett's second free throw rims off no good, and the rebound comes down to Jacob Barron for St. Elmo Brownstown. Philpott bringing the ball up the floor. Boy, I'll tell you, Bryden Pruitt thought about pulling the trigger on a corner three, but decided maybe we don't need one quite that quick. But then you see Gruel poke the ball away from Philpott. Philpott had to go to the floor to save it, and St. Elmo Brownstown calls a timeout to hold on to possession.
Philpott had that like a egg in the nest.
So we'll go ahead and take the break with him. St. Elmo Brownstown leading Windsor Stew Straws 52-48. NTC tournament basketball here on 97.9 XFM.
Let our experienced employees at Wright Furniture help you with your furniture and accessory needs. Whether it's just a chair or a house full of furniture, Wright's Furniture and Flooring in Diedrich can help.
Come see all the redesigned Chevrolet and Toyota models at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, located South Route 45 here in Effingham, or at danheck.com.
Locally owned and operated, and proud to serve the Effingham area for more than 25 years. 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
All right, we return. St. Elmo Brownstown got the timeout to save the possession. They've got a 52-48 lead over Windsor Stew Straws and the ball. Pruitt gets the ball over to Jackson Tisch, the high scorer for these Eagles tonight. He's got 18 points. He has been a killer from three-point range. Back over to Pruitt on the left wing, and now you got a foul against Windsor Stew Straws. Jackson Miller says, "Man, I was just reaching for the ball. I didn't get him," but he doesn't win that argument.
His double checking. They do give it to Jackson Miller. I'm sorry, just want to make sure. I have him for 3. Oh no, the foul was on. Well, there is no number 14.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Jackson Miller was the guy in the neighborhood.
I agree.
Meanwhile, Bryden Pruitt was the guy he fouled, and he knocks down his first free throw. I've got him for 7.
Yeah, that number up on the board is not correct for who got the foul because the Hatchets don't have a number 14 according to my stats.
Second free throw also good, so Pruitt give him 8. And it's back to a 6-point lead for St. Elmo Brownstown. 1:33 to go. Windsor Stew Straws has got to have a bucket here. And I'll tell you, a pass almost got away as weren't quite ready for it. And then Wyatt Smith in the lane had a lot of room. The shot no good, but Clay Tabbert goes up for the board. I'll tell you, Wyatt Smith caught a ball in the lane, and there was nobody behind him. He could have just gone right to the basket, but he had his back to the rim, took a turnaround shot instead. Fortunately for him, you had Clay Tabbert sneak in there and grab the board and draw the foul.
Nate Philpott gets this foul. That's his third. The earlier foul on Windsor's two straws was on Bo Bennett, his first.
First free throw, though, for Clay Tabbert is off the mark. He's got one more coming. 3 points for Clay. And that one is good. So he's got his team within 5, and they'll get him out of the game as Domzalski comes in to play defense. So St. Elmo Brownstown, the ball and a minute 22 to go. They've got a 5-point lead, and Windsor Stu Straw is coming out with the pressure. Full court press. Gruhl hassling Nate Philpott as he brings it up the floor, gets it across the timeline, but then picks up his dribble, gets some help as Pruitt comes over for it. Pruitt, man, he's got Bo Bennett all over him, but he drives into the lane. They're going to say he traveled first.
So travel's the call, man. He made the shot. That's even tougher. 4 turnovers on the Eagles in this fourth quarter now.
Hatchett's picking up the pressure. They've got to force some mistakes, and that's what they did. Minute 1 to go. Windsor Stu Straws with the ball. They trail by 5.
Wernsing back for Gruhl.
That is, they're getting Wernsing in there for his offensive capabilities. They get it down to Tabbert, kicks it out to Wernsing. He's open for 3, and he got it to go. Gavin Wernsing, 14 points, and it is a 2-point game. Windsor Stu Straws within 2. St. Elmo Brownstown with the basketball. 45 seconds to go. Nate Philpott standing out there, and he's saying, hey, you're going to have to come get me. We still got the lead. Still no 5 count.
Coach says come on out and get him now.
30 seconds to go. He's picked up his dribble, and now St. Elmo Brownstown is going to have to get the timeout to avoid the 5-second call. So Greg Fiesel gets the timeout. 29.7 seconds to go. It's a 2-point game. St. Elmo Brownstown with a 54-52 lead. We'll be back with the conclusion of this NTC Tournament Consolation Semifinal on 97.9 XFL.
Let our experienced employees at Wright Furniture help you with your furniture and accessory needs. Whether it's just a chair or a house full of furniture, Wright's Furniture and Flooring in Diedrich can help.
Come see all the redesigned Chevrolet and Toyota models at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, located south Route 45 here in Effingham, or at danheck.com.
Locally owned and operated, and proud to serve the Effingham area for more than 25 years. 97.9 XFM and KJ Country.
St. Elmo Brownstown clinging to a 2-point lead here, 54-52. The Eagles have the ball coming out of this timeout, under 30 seconds to go, and Windsor Stu Straw is trying to get the steal, but instead get called for the foul. I think that was kind of one of those deals where Jackson Miller was thinking, if I get the steal, great. If I get the foul, I get the clock stopped.
Yeah, you got to stop the clock. That foul on Jackson Miller is his third.
So Bryden Pruitt is the guys they're putting on the line. You see the offense-defense shuffle continuing for Windsor Stu Straws as they get Wernsing back in the game. And meanwhile, Pruitt's got a 1 in bonus here, and he makes the first one. That's a big one.
Yep.
Pruitt with 9.
Yeah, now 3 will only tie it. Here's the second big one here. Give him a 2-possession lead.
Yeah, 55-52. Pruitt makes the second one. He's got 10 points now, and he's got his team up by 2 possessions. The Eagles have a 56-52 lead. Remember, Windsor Stu Straws here with 26.7 seconds to go. They do not have a timeout remaining. So they've got the ball. They're going to let it bounce down the floor a little bit to conserve clock. Here's Bo Bennett. Gets it down into Tabbert. He's going one-on-one and gets it to bank home. Goes up over his man and gets the one to go.
And it was a 4-point lead. All they had to do was score. Didn't have to be a 3, and now they got the foul.
Yeah, he went one-on-one with Jacob Barron and banked it home. A big shot, and then they quickly foul to stop the clock. It's going to be Pruitt at the line again.
And boy, he just buried his last 2. The foul's on Bo Bennett, his second.
Remember, it's still a 1 in bonus here. First one is good, though. Bryton Pruitt has made some big free throws here in this last 30 seconds of the game.
After this one, I'll tell you how well he's done.
Second one on the way for Pruitt, and he nails it.
6 for 6 in the fourth quarter for Pruitt from the line.
And St. Elmo Brownstown going to get a timeout in here. They lead by 4, 58-44, 14.9 seconds to go here. And you want to just keep it here, Greg? Let's just keep it here because, quite honestly, this is an exciting point in the ball game. For St. Elmo Brownstown, they've got the 4-point lead, so they really just need to play good straight-up defense, make sure they don't foul. And for Windsor Stew-Straws, it's the same thing, I think. You bring it down the floor quickly, quick bucket. If it's a 3, great. If it's a 2, you're still going to try to foul.
Exactly. And 15 seconds, that's plenty of time to get a lot done. We've seen a lot happen in 15 seconds before.
Yeah, so...
and by the by, both teams are out of timeouts now.
Yeah, Windsor Stew-Straws used its last one with about 2.5 minutes to go. And at that time, St. Elmo Brownstown still had 3 to go, but they have used them all up. So it's it's going to be up to the kids on the floor from this point on.
So if St. Elmo Brownstown has a tough time getting the ball inbound, they can't call a timeout.
Yeah, so you got to imagine.
So, if the stoppage of play, they get the ball back here in a minute, all that stuff factors in.
For now, Windsor Stew-Straws has got the ball, and St. Elmo Brownstown is not going to press her. They're just going to lay back, and they're going to allow Windsor Stew-Straws to roll it down the floor. Pick it up about midcourt. Here's the Hatchets. Under 10 seconds to go now. The shot contested by Jackson Miller. He took it in, and, man, he got the foul. Oh, boy.
Looked like a pretty good block by Barron.
I think that depending on what team you're rooting for is how you saw that one, because it was a 50-50 ball for sure.
Barron's second foul.
So Barron got a hand in there, came close to getting it clean, but was whistled for the foul. So Jackson Miller, a couple of big free throws coming up, and the first one is good.
Love it that these guys are pouring in these foul shots late.
14 points for Jackson Miller. He and Gavin Wernsing are leading the way for the Hatchets. And another big one coming up here. 7.6 seconds to go, a 3-point game. Windsor Stew-Straws misses the second one, and the rebound comes down to Barron.
One possession game, though. Big that he got one down.
And he needed that second one, though. It didn't go down, and Barron now is going to shoot double bonus. He was fouled. That one was on Jackson Miller.
His fourth.
And so now Barron has got 2 free throws. His team has a 3-point lead, and there are 5.9 seconds to go.
So Barron, big opportunity at the line to seal the deal.
Barron has got it, 7 points already. First one, no good.
3 would tie it.
Remember, no timeouts.
Right.
No timeouts for either team. The Windsor Stew-Straws, if they get this defensive rebound, if he misses here, then they just got to get it up and shoot. They can't stop the clock. And for Barron, you basically make it and ice the ball game. He loads up, and this one is off the rim, no good. Rebound comes down, but it goes out of bounds off of the Hatchets. 2 Windsor Stew-Straws players came together for the board. Neither one of them got it, and it goes out of bounds on the baseline.
Their second turnover of the half.
So St. Elmo Brownstown just has to get this inbounded. They do, and there's a quick foul as they got it into Philpott. Man, that is... it was going to be a tough go-over for Windsor Stew-Straws, make no mistake, to get the ball down the floor in less than 6 seconds to get a shot off. But, man, to not even get the shot, not even get the opportunity, that is going to be a tough pill to swallow.
Tabbert's fourth foul.
Philpott makes this free throw. He's got 12 points, and more importantly, with 2.7 seconds to go, he's got his St. Elmo Brownstown Eagles up by 2 possessions. Philpott the second on the way, drills it, 13 for him. 5-point game. Windsor Stew-Straws inbounds, throws it the length of the court. It does not matter. That is your ball game, and boy, the Eagles of St. Elmo Brownstown hold on. They had a 13-point lead at halftime. They saw this game tied in the early stages of the fourth quarter, but they persevere and get the 60-55 win over Windsor Stew-Straws and advance to the consolation championship game Saturday against either Neoga or South Central. We will take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at your scoring. We're going to have some statistics, and hey, we still got another ball game here tonight. This is the second of 3. St. Anthony and North Clay waiting to come take the floor. We'll be back with our post-game show here. Again, it is St. Elmo Brownstown with a 60-55 win over Windsor Stew-Stras NTC Tournament Basketball on 97.9 XFM.
Leisure Times at Keller and Jefferson at Effingham has everything you'll need for your indoor and outdoor recreational needs. Leisure Times, where we specialize in family fun. Crossroads Bank, your locally owned, locally managed, and locally committed bank, has 2 locations to serve you, on South Banker and on North Keller Drive.
Your home for the 84th Annual NTC Tournament, 97.9 XFM.
Niemerg Steakhouse has been serving Effingham and the surrounding communities for the past 40 years. Niemerg Steakhouse, proud supporters of local and area high school sports.
Good luck to area teams at the National Trail Conference Tournament this week. From your F&N Napa Auto Parts store, use that Napa know-how for money-saving deals.
The area's choice for news, sports, weather, and more. On air at 97.9 XFM, online at 979xfm.com.
Let our experienced employees at Wright Furniture help you with your furniture and accessory needs. Whether it's just a chair or a house full of furniture, Wright's Furniture and Flooring in Diedrich can help.
Come see all the redesigned Chevrolet and Toyota models at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, located South Route 45 here in Effingham, or at danheck.com.
Locally owned and operated, and proud to serve the Effingham area for more than 25 years. 97.9 XFM and KJ Country.
This is the Farm Credit Illinois postgame show. Farm Credit Illinois, assisting farmers for over 100 years.
At Altamont, we just finished the second of 3 games here. St. Elmo Brownstown with a 60-55 win over Windsor Stew-Stras in a consolation semifinal. We weren't sure how much drama there was going to be coming down the wire as the Eagles had a 13-point lead at halftime, but Windsor Stew-Stras, the Hatchets, made a game of it, got it tied in the fourth quarter, just not ever able to take a lead and ultimately not able to come away with the victory. So they will drop down, and they'll play again on Saturday as well, but it's going to be St. Elmo Brownstown that's going to be playing for that consolation championship on Saturday afternoon. So let's take a look at this here. It was 16-9, St. Elmo Brownstown leading after 1 quarter. And they outscored Windsor Stew-Stras by 6 points in the second quarter to take a 32-19 halftime lead. 43-40 was your score after 3 quarters. However, as the Hatchets outscored St. Elmo Brownstown 21-17 in that third period, and then, like we said early on, the Hatchets were able to knot things up early on in that fourth quarter, but it was a 17-15 advantage in that fourth and final quarter for the Eagles, and that spelled out a 60-55 victory for the victorious Eagles. Let's start with them. 18 points for Jackson Tisch. Man, he hit some big shots for them tonight. Some three-pointers when they really needed them. In fact, all of his 18 points came from beyond the three-point arc, and he was one of 3 double-figure scorers for the Eagles. Nate Philpott with 13 points, Bryden Pruitt with 12, Andy Goldsboro scored 9, Jacob Barron had 7, and Jace McWhorter scored 2. Nick Rossborough also got in there. He scored a single tally. And also for Windsor Stew-Stras, let's take a look at their scoring. 14 points led the way for Jackson Miller and Gavin Wernsing. Bo Bennett scored 12 to get in double figures. Wyatt Smith had 7. Clay Tabbert with 6. Parker Domzalski with 2. And Logan Gruhl, he played tonight but did not score. Greg, we've got Windsor Stew-Stras coach Bob Lockhart up here. Who's going to handle the post-game interview? You want to do that, or you want me to take care of that?
I'll be happy to, and you go down and check the lineups for the next game.
The lineup. So I will hand over the headset to Coach Lockhart, and we will get his thoughts underway.
Very good. Thanks, Dustin. So we'll saddle out Bob here for the post-game visit. Final score again in a dandy. St. Elmo Brownstown 60, Windsor Stew-Stras 55, and Bob, I'm telling you, that was as exciting a game as I've seen in a while.
Well, yeah, good high school basketball game, and both teams competed. And, I have so much respect for Coach, and I knew his kids would be ready and those type of things. So, again, that was enjoyable. It's fun to do that. Sure, we'd like to end up on the other end of the spectrum, but that's not, I keep telling kids, it's not what it's about. It's about that winning effort and trying to play together and execute when you need to. And I felt like second half, wow, what a good half of basketball for us.
Absolutely.
So we just dug ourselves a little bit too deep that first half.
You finally got it tied after trying. Never could quite get over the hump, though, on the scoreboard.
Well, you got to credit them. They took Jackson away from us, and finding other guys to score, and you talk to kids endlessly. How else can we score? You got to grow up and take a shot. The last time out I took in the first half, I looked at the guys that had been shooting and drawing air, or a lot of metal. I said, it looks like you guys have been to the shooting clinic that I was in charge of. Anything I could get them to loosen up a little bit, because you got to take it. You got to shoot the ball. And I felt like we just got a little bit more aggressive the second half, but probably the most important thing, we got interior touches. And when you do that, you're a little bit more aggressive, and then when the lid gets off the basket, it's amazing how it makes everything else easier. But what you got to really appreciate about our group is they just didn't give in, because that is usually the nature sometimes when it's not going well.
Yeah, guys, you were down 13 points, and it would have been easier early in the fourth quarter to think, well, but here you came. And that was exciting, and you got Jackson got you some threes, but boy, Wernsing, he really is a freshman, right?
Yeah, he stepped up big, especially a couple of the corner shots and those things, and Gavin, you got to love him, because he's that coach's guy that you like, because if he doesn't understand something, he asks. Yeah. He's not afraid to give his opinion when I ask him, and all you got to say to him is, hey, keep being offensive-minded. And the hardest thing of doing is a lot of these kids this year are being put into situations where in the past they have not been, especially at the varsity level. And we can preach defense and all that all we want, but when the ball goes in the hole, it makes it a lot easier.
Without it, there is no denying that. And I know that you were working so hard, and I know you wanted to keep them from scoring, and by golly, they made every foul shot they put up there in the end.
Well, the young kids on the bench at the end of the game with about 30 seconds to go tapped me. One of them said, isn't it amazing how free throws sort of bite us a little bit every game? And it is, we shoot them, we do variations of things, you run, you do it all. But again, that's the great thing about athletics is kids being put in a situation under pressure. And whether you succeed or not, it's more about how do I go about it, and then what can I do when it doesn't go? And we're trying to work on that. Our practice habits have not been great the last 2 weeks. Yeah. And I keep telling them that any habit that you have, it takes about 20 to 20-some days of repetitive practice before it starts showing up in the game. And we live in a society, especially with kids, they want that instant gratification, and that's why I respect every coach that's in a business, because that's what you're fighting, is that 6 inches of concentration every day in practice when you don't want to. And sometimes it is amazing how it ends up fighting you. But that's why it's a good teacher for all of us. Absolutely. You can learn so much from sports, so much from competition, respecting each other. Appreciated the way you went over and grabbed the officials, gave them a handshake, because they were working hard too. Oh, yeah. You don't always agree, and then that's what the situation is. And what I appreciate about those guys is they let you get a little competitive with them. They know you've invested. Coaches invest a lot of time, so when we get irate, we're fighting because we're in that competitive nature also, just like the kids. That's probably why a lot of us do it. So, again, I appreciate the job they do. What a great atmosphere, and like you said, good high school basketball team. Absolutely. Excuse me. We'll look forward to seeing you again Saturday, Bob. Appreciate it. Thanks for everything. Oh, our pleasure. Hatchet's coach Bob Lockhart. Appreciate him coming up on the postgame show. We'll move Greg Fiesel in here for a visit. Again, a really good basketball game. St. Elmo Brownstown won over Windsor's Two Straws 60-55, and Greg joins us now on the postgame show. Congratulations on a good win, Greg. Yeah, it was a nice win for us. Man, it was so back and forth, and it looked like for a minute there you had the deal sealed, and then here they came swarming back from 13 down to tie it, and then it was all bets were off from there. But your kids did so much right.
And my golly, they hit the foul shots when you needed them.
Yeah, those last Brighton hit
One over
4, I think
Windsor,
they
too.
hit 2, something like that, and those were big shots for us. But I told Coach Beckie at halftime, I said, there's a good coach over in that other locker room, and this is not even close to being over. And boy, were we right.
Man, oh man!
But the kids really listened to us tonight. They let us coach them, switch defenses. Multiple different sets we ran different times, and really did what we wanted to game plan wise.
You had a kid, and he had some good minutes Tuesday night too. But Jackson Tisch, we had him for 6 made threes. I'm telling you, that's a lift.
Yeah, he has a lot of fun on the floor.
He does. He enjoys himself.
Him and his brother, I imagine, I think they live and breathe basketball. But no, he knows what he's supposed to do on the floor.
Yeah.
But he knows if it's not there, he passes it up, and that's good for a sophomore.
Yeah.
But it just opens things up when you hit a few shots. It just gives us time for a kid like Nate to start penetrating in, and you got to hit a few of those every once in a while. And we've been missing that a little bit, but it helped tonight. He opened it up for us a lot.
Speaking of Nate, I know that really hampered you when him being hurt for such a big part of the early season. But my golly, it's nice to see a senior, because sometimes, Greg, it's what he doesn't do as much as what he does.
Exactly. With him.
Really wise about how he plays.
With that kid, that's exactly right. He may have 5 points in a ball game, but if we don't have him, we don't win.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, he got hurt. We played summer basketball in July. He got hurt in baseball or whatever it was, or sometime it was after it. And he didn't touch a ball until 7 games in to this season. So, honestly, he's just kind of rounding into form. I mean, I think his conditioning's better now. But he's just a nice player. He's strong. He's worked on his body. And, he's a treat to have.
Yeah, and we talked about Goldsboro Tuesday night. He had another good night for you, working hard. Jacob Barron, for big kid, is a lot more agile than you would first think, and he moves well around the basket.
He is, yeah, he is. He's just first year, playing varsity ball, and we used to use him to clog the middle, and my gosh, he can. But he's a big old boy.
Yeah.
So he's got some moves. We need to work more post moves with him, but he's learning, and he's just a space eater for us, and we rotated around him. He goes about a good hard 3 minutes, and he knows that's what he's supposed to do. He's going to go as hard as he can, and then he's going to come out.
So you're 2-1 on the week now, and you're back Saturday for one more.
Yeah, I told the boys, I said, we were a little upset with our seed. I don't mind telling anybody we were, and we're going to better it no matter how we do it, and that's what we wanted. But that's the way it goes. Honestly, it worked out for us. Playing how we did. We had to play St. Anthony, which I think it helped us grow up.
Yeah.
We still played a good ball game that night. They're just that much better than we are right now. And but no, the kids had a good time tonight. And I told them, I said, you got to go have fun with this game. It can't be all serious, and we try to make it not that way for them, but the kids had fun tonight, and that's what I enjoy the most, watching them have fun.
So do we. That was a fun ball game. Yep. Congratulations on a good win, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. St. Elmo Brownstown coach Greg Feasel. 60-55, St. Elmo Brownstown, the win over Windsor's Two Straws. They both play on Saturday. One of the 4 games we'll have for you on Saturday. We still have a championship bracket semifinal game to play here tonight. The St. Anthony Bulldogs and North Clay Cardinals. Back with more on that in a minute here on 97.9 XF.